It has given me everything, and more than all, it has given me immense satisfaction.
There are huge good things which have happened in the last 60 years, but many bad things have happened.
Really, I'm proud of our country, and people from our country have earned a great name in India and elsewhere.
We have taken to the villages by this Panchayat Raj Act only corruption and politics.
Dream of a great country, that my country will become a developed country by 2030.
India should encourage rural liberalization.
Dr. C.P. Habeeb Rahman is the chairman and medical director of Unity Health Complex and author of 11 Islamic Principles for Successful Living. He is a visionary doctor and a creative administrator. He is highly modern, firmly traditional and deeply religious at the very same time. Updated always with latest technologies and knowledge, Dr. Habeeb Rahman stands positive towards innovations all the times. For him, modern is value addition, not throwing out the traditional values. Dr. C.P. Habeeb Rahman had a meeting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, then Honorable President of India, on 15th of February 2006 at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The meeting was an important topic, transformation of politicians. Dr. Habeeb had suggested landmark education for the parliamentarians and to all other politicians at various stages. He had foreseen a crisis in the political system if the politicians were left ignored. Of course, the proposal had left ignored. We do not know whether it got ignored at Rashtrapati Bhavan or at PMO, where the proposal was about to go and get acted upon. We are now in 2011. 5 years and 5 months are over from the date of Dr. Habeeb's meeting with Dr. Kalam. Politicians were left ignored without giving them opportunities for introspection. Politics had remained as the game of attaining and retaining power. The very oath every MLA and MP had taken at the beginning was left at the place where it was taken. Ministers, MPs, MLAs and others never bothered to honor their words. None around them reminded them about the promises. Everyone was looking for power, power and more power. Time has come where there is no further go. The stage has crossed above all limits. This is time to take decision. Politicians of all parties should either transform or perish. It is a dead end of a closed pipeline. No turn back. Transform yourselves. Reform yourselves. Take new shapes. See miracles work for you. Shape your vision that becomes one with your word. Walk your talk. Nothing else will work. In the next 15 minutes, Dr. Habeeb will explain to you what went wrong, where it went wrong, and how to set it right.
Present political situation is in crisis. People elect politicians to power and detest them in power. There is a mass neurosis about politicians. Famous scientist Albert Einstein says, "You cannot solve the problem at the same level of thought with which it is created." You cannot solve the problem at the same level of thought with which it is created. The politicians are lost within their own problems which they have created. Outside help is required for them. We, the common people who have elected them, can also help them to get out of the web that they have created. There is a statement according to a school of thought which is based on ontology, the science of being, that nothing works without integrity. Integrity is related to performance. No integrity, no performance. Human beings are as innocent as they are born naked. Nothing good or bad about them. A child can be in any way molded. Good education, good family support, with a good value system, breeds them to be good human beings. This will benefit them and also the society. No education, no enlightenment. The child grows into its necessity in any way, in wealth, attitude, position, power, greed, etc. They use all level methods to attain this. Childhood stories of people who are in smuggling, underworld, etc. are examples of this improper growing mechanism.
What if you could take a 2-day course that gave you direct access to creating and living a life you really want?
It was a Saturday and Sunday.
It was very clear what was being said.
I came out dealing with a particular issue, and the whole issue crystallized for me by the second day.
Direct access, creating and living a future you really want, is a new kind of landmark course.
You know that expression, time flies when you're having fun? I don't know where the day went.
In the design of this new program, we set out to actually bring into existence a program that was unique and new in every single facet, from the delivery of the program to the methodology of the program, to drawing on the latest findings of cognitive science and neuroscience, to the use of multimedia to enhance and make the delivery more efficient.
The introduction of the video technology made it so accessible to see the material that we were covering.
Now it's starting to put it into real practical purposes for me, how my brain works.
We set out with that goal, committed to have a landmark program that was completely distinct from every other landmark program that came before. We were also committed that we could do that in 2 days and leave people not only with staggering immediate results, but with the kind of results that expand month after month and year after year. You will leave with a step-by-step process that literally puts your brain to work for you so that it naturally generates the actions required for you to realize that future.
In my everyday life, I have steps. I can create it anytime I want.
I got a total result from this weekend.
It was just so simple.
All the dreams that I put on a shelf that were gathering dust, they're coming down. And this course made that possible.
What for a political system emerge and exist? The political system originally was to liberate people from various types of oppression, backwardness, etc. India was under British rule and Indians were oppressed. To liberate them, Indian political system was born. To liberate the oppressed majority, other political systems called communism and socialism was born. These are all started with good intentions and noble values. As the political system attained power, the liberation of the people was forgotten. On the other hand, politicians are lost in attainment and retention of power. Whatever be the manifestos of different parties, the hidden motives remain to attain or retain power. Nothing more, nothing less. How to benefit out of power has become the lookout of all politicians. To benefit out of power, they are ready even to break the laws. The moment the lawmaker becomes the lawbreaker, there starts a great trauma in the minds of the people. Sometimes it leads to violence as protest, revolution, Naxalism, terrorism, extremism, etc. This is not only in action but even in thoughts. There is immense hatred against the politicians. The innocent politicians who started his career with a good intention to liberate the people from oppression is being lost in his halfway through. If he is freely available, he may be killed. If he is corrupt, he may be jailed. If they cannot do anything, they throw him out of power. In the ultimate analysis, politicians forget they are vulnerable to suffering, and many politicians lose their lives in situations like assassinations, complicated diseases, etc. how to facilitate the transformation of politics and politicians. What is required now is a political reformation or transformation. Politicians themselves are not bad. They are like any other human beings. They have good intention of public services. But power breeds corruption, power breeds hatred, power forgets the people, and power leads them to self-destruction. How to transform politicians? As I said in the beginning, nothing works without integrity.
Hi everybody, this is Sodi speaking to you from New Delhi. I was thinking about my days back in Microsoft. I worked for Microsoft as their executive in the finance world, and I had this huge privilege to work with many people, and I observed some very powerful leadership in people. And one of the questions that always intrigued me and fascinated me was, how could one human being be so free with themselves and provide a certain kind of leadership to people around which leaders thrived and other people found their self-expression versus somebody else. And I always wondered, what did they have which I didn't have, or what they have somebody else didn't have? Was there something special they had? And I did the Landmark Forum, and one of the most profound openings for me in the Landmark Forum was that there was nothing special anybody had, and what I had associated myself with and what people had associated themselves with, their identities and their point of views and their bodies and their culture and their religion and their the environment and their learnings, we were not limited to that. There was something way more profound and fundamental that defined or said to who we are, which didn't have to be limited by all that we said. And that opening can provide such a clearing for you and me to express ourselves. And that's what my article in some way addresses and brings to light. And I hope you really enjoy reading the article. And you should know that our work is thriving in India. The work's really expanding, and we have many graduates here. Any of you is on this side of the planet, we'd love to say hello to you. Come say hello to us.
What is integrity? Though integrity is a common word, people hardly understand its meaning. It is not honesty, it is not truthfulness. The dictionary defines integrity as being whole and complete. God has created in nature, you find everything as complete. A tree has got its roots, stems, leaves, flowers and seeds. If any of them are missing, it is incomplete. A table has got 4 legs. If one of them is missing, the table cannot stand, it is incomplete. If the pen has no ink, it doesn't work. It is incomplete. Anything incomplete doesn't work. This is known as no integrity. Without integrity, nothing works. And without work, no performance. With integrity, there is workability, which leads to performance and results. In human beings, how does it apply? What is incomplete in human beings, like the ink in the pen, root in the plant, or a leg of a table, which makes them not to work? What is the missing part? Unlike lower animals, human beings exist with language. It is through language that we communicate. It is through language we understand. It is through language we build our relationship. The language consists of the words which comes out from our mouth. The word communicates certain meaning. If the word does not communicate the meaning what is uttered, then there is something missing. This is known as not honoring one's words. One honors one's words, one maintains integrity. And with integrity, everything works. The first step towards attaining integrity is honoring one's words. Honoring one's word is not just keeping one's word. Keeping one's word is a part of honoring one's word. Honoring one's word means deep respect for the word he utters. Sometimes it is very painful to communicate. It is always with truth, and truth is the governing principle of universe, including human beings. How to reform the politicians? Is it by religious teaching that can instill values in them by eminent religious teachers? Or is it by management consultants who can bring productivity in them? Or is it by different schools of thought, of knowledge, which can guide them to benefit in their system? Another system which I find that can bring transformation in the politicians is by application of the methods of ontology, which focus on human beings' behavior as human beings should behave. There is an education that is known as landmark education, which conduct 3 days workshop, forms the individual on the third day. They enlighten piece by piece the behavior pattern of human beings and how they are lost their lives being a victim of behavior that doesn't pay in life, and how they lose power, freedom and peace of mind. One of the best methods of getting politician the benefit of is conducting this program for the parliamentarians. In this connection, I discussed this with our Honorable former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam with the request to mention this to the Prime Minister to start this program, including all the political parties. I do not know how far this has gone ahead. A copy of the letter is still with me. If this would have taken place, we would not have landed the present crisis, and the politician could have been safer. Even late is better than never. I have discussed this with Mr. Oscar Fernandez, former Union Minister. He has shown considerable interest and promised to take the initiative. Let us hope for the better and find the future generation in the better hands of the politician.